some time for some tea with tea on this Talk Therapy Tuesday. I'm Tanya McLean-Nicholas, licensed marriage family therapist and owner of Renewed Hope Counseling. In working with couples, I find that one of their biggest complaints is communication, specifically having that feeling that their partner is not listening to them. So I started to unpack this whole concept of feeling unheard or that someone's not listening. So I asked myself, what defines if a person is listening? Is it the nodding of the head in agreement? Or is it the insertion of information or even the regurgitation of what we hear someone saying? That could all be part of it. However, I believe that what couples are really saying is that their communication with their partners are lacking validation and the empathy that they need. It usually goes something like this. One person in the relationship will comment, maybe share a story, an issue, or even a concern. And the other person, maybe they'll give minimal to no response. Maybe they start telling their own story or their experience that relates to yours, or they respond with a solution on how you may be able to fix it, your issue, or your concern, whichever it may be. These responses can cause your partner to feel unheard, not valued, resulting in feelings of frustration, anger, sadness, rejection, or even unimportance. I don't believe this is what couples set out to do in their relationships. However, it so often occurs. So let me give you two nuggets with today's topic, the pitfalls of communication. So go ahead, grab your tea or your coffee, and let's dig in. Of course, there's several pitfalls in communication, but I'm going to mention only two. The first pitfall is immediately responding with your story. We all have a story or experience that relates to the stories that others share with us. It's so tempting to share those stories that we identify with. And depending upon what's said, we find ourselves going down memory lane and recalling how we felt in those moments. I guarantee you, it is not the right time to focus on you. Your intentions are good because you want to show the person you can relate. The problem is it takes the focus off of them and it's now on you. You don't want a person to leave the conversation feeling like they or their story didn't matter or it wasn't valued. And you don't want to show up as being insensitive, uncaring, and self-absorbed. Instead, listen, not just with your ears, but with your head and your heart. Ask clarifying questions, dig a little deeper by responding with open-ended questions that are allowing the sharing to be fluid instead of telling your story. Your presence in the conversation communicates that you value them and that you're interested. Always be present and remove any distractions so you hear what's being said. The second pitfall, avoid the need to fix it. Many of us are fixers and we want to solve a problem quickly to make it better, of course. However, I find that most people already know the answer to their issue or their concern. What they're really wanting is a sounding board, maybe ability to process or just vent, or just a moment to express their feelings or just simply to share. When we jump in and we try to problem solve versus understanding their current perspective or their thoughts, it can cause a person to feel alone or with hurt feelings that can lead to resentment over time. Now to the communicator, I have to say it's important that you understand your partner is not a mind reader. So entering into conversations believing your partner should know what you need or want at any given time in communication is just not fair. State your expectations prior. If you're needing your partner's full attention, be careful of the timing of when you share. Or preface the conversation by saying, I need to share something serious and I would like your full attention. Letting them know that you're sharing and that you don't necessarily need their help right now. This can help your partner know what you're needing in the moment, as well help you to walk away feeling affirmed and validated. Validation is the ability to acknowledge another person's emotions, their thoughts, their experiences, their values, and even their beliefs. It isn't about agreeing or fixing the other person, trying to get someone to change, or repeating back what the other person has to say. Empathy is similar in that it's the ability to understand or share in another person's experience by putting yourself in their shoes. These two concepts, validation and empathy, are key to successful communication and thriving relationships. However, they become at times the most difficult to give because we mistaken validation with agreement and empathy Well, it's just downright uncomfortable at times because it requires you to feel what someone else is feeling, their sadness, their hurt, or even their anger. You would have to connect with that and still keep the focus on them without including your story or your experience. It's much more comfortable to fix it, to just solve it, and to move them out of that space. So don't get me wrong. It's appropriate at times to share your experiences, but never without validating and showing empathy towards others in the moment. When validation and empathy are present, connection is fueled, making all relationships stronger. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed your tea with tea on this Talk Therapy Tuesday. I'm Tanya McLean Nicholas, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.